Alright guys, welcome to Abyssos, the Sixth Circle. Upon entering, you will notice these little patterns on the floor, and that's because these will actually be very important throughout the fight. You need to take note that there are 4 sets of 4, basically, and this is a very key part in the fight. So just remember that whenever there is 4 squares on this side of the room, it may swap with 4 squares on that side of the room. So I'll show you that. It does get a little hectic later on, so I just want to explain that early. And yeah, so let's get started here with my group. We are going to wait for these last bit of cutscenes here. Start a countdown timer. All right, so starting off, he doesn't really hit super hard on tanks, by the way. Tank busters do suck pretty bad, but other than that. So here you see these 4 rods. Now, each of these rods basically are tied to the 4 squares, like what I was mentioning at the beginning of the fight. But occasionally he can switch some of those rods. So we do have to really pay attention to what's happening there. Now here you see a chorus ability. Depending on where those beams are that he's doing is which direction he's going to shoot them. Sometimes they're in front of him and behind him, and sometimes they're off to the sides. So the first set was a sides, this one was a front and a rear. So simply sidestep, dodge those. Fairly simple and straightforward. Another set right here, looks like those are in front and rear. Just gonna go ahead and dodge those. Now this Dark 4 ability is a pretty heavy raid wide. I would recommend helping your healers out, or if you are a healer, definitely get some cooldowns ready for this. Now we also have this transmission ability. What you need to do with this is nothing right away, but as you see a timer go upon your head, whenever this reaches 0, you want to be facing away from everyone. Maybe towards the outside of the room is best, because it will make you channel uncontrollably in that direction. Now you will see that one person over there managed to cleave my entire body because they were facing the middle of the room. So that's what can happen if someone does not face outward. So definitely try not to kill anybody with that ability. Here we have a nice big tank buster. See, even with some, oh, I had some cooldowns rolling there. That was a baby hit. Didn't hit me that bad. But the bleed effect afterwards, pretty rough. Now on this next Aetheric ability, this is the summoning of the squares. And with it, it looks like he's going to be doing left and right. So we want to be in the front or the rear of him on this one. Like I said, occasionally those squares will change, and I will try to show them whenever they happen here very soon. Now for this one, he's going to rotate around the room. You want to pay attention to where this snake head is. That's a good indicator of where to start. You want to not be in the path of that, but then you can simply follow that around the room. His wing is the other one that does cleave, but it's a lot less noticeable of where it's going to start than the actual snake head. Another AoE right here. Again, with this transmission ability, right away, you don't have to just run out. I've seen some people just like run out to the edge of the room instantly. You don't really have to do that. As long as you wait for that timer above your head and then simply just face away from the group, which looked like someone already went ahead and faced me. Gave me a nice little cleave there. Spread out. Tank busters. Another AoE. Fairly simple so far. Nothing too crazy, but like I said, once those squares start moving around, then it starts to be a problem for some people. So Aetherial Exchange is going to be summon these platforms again right here, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So now they're exchanging. So basically, if you see this one over here, you'll notice that the bottom right and the top left of it are safe. It's going to change with this platform over here. So once it does, this top left and that bottom right were the new safe positions. And we'll see that a couple more times, so you'll be able to make sure you get the hang of it. They don't flip-flop, they don't really do any weird mirroring or anything like that. So if you pay attention here, the one across from me that this one's switching with, it looks like this one and the one next to it are going to be the new safe spots. So there we go, those were safe. Big AoE damage right there. Summoning the, looks like the spears again. Here we go. They are exchanging once again. Now the ones across from it right here are both unsafe. So we don't want to be in those. That one's going to be very unsafe. At the same time, you had to dodge this snake head coming around the room. So be sure that you leave yourself a little bit of space in order to get safe and then proceed to run afterwards. Following that up, you want to make sure that both tanks are not near people, as we're going to have this tank buster with a bleed. Like I said, the actual hits themselves aren't really bad. It's usually all the extra side effects, like this bleed, for example, that hit really hard, or comboing, like this AoE that happens with it, that can be pretty lethal. So if you're going to use tank cooldowns, I would highly recommend them on the actual bleed dot themselves. Here we go, the transmission. So we're going to get that debuff on us again, wait for that timer, and then face away from our raid group. These ones do not have any arrows, it looks like, so we are good to stay in some safe areas. But at the same time, the second group of people are going to be breathing, so going to want to face out here. Now, if I had to guess, I would say that that's probably going to be an indication of maybe when you would want to tank swap, especially in Savage difficulty. I could see one tank getting a number early and the second tank getting the number later. And if you're just standing there and you're getting wailed on, like in the back, and not able to really mitigate or throw cooldowns, I could see it becoming a problem. So it looks like if that one changes with this one, I'm good to stay right around here. Oh, but he was doing a front and back. So again, pay attention to some of those things right there. I did not pay attention to a front and back mechanic that was happening. But luckily tank privilege. So overall though, definitely a really interesting fight. I could see it being a little chaotic on Savage difficulty, especially with maybe adding some new mechanics to it. So all in all, pretty good, guys. And pretty well designed fight. I actually enjoy the movement in it a lot, and ready for the next one. See you next time, guys.